And the truth is, the real value behind either of these coins is because this doesn't have scarcity value. The real value in these coins is going to be based on the community and the efforts that they use to push to get utility. Because again, cryptocurrency is in its infancy stages. So these connections that you make, the partnerships that we establish, like Dogecoin with AMC, that's ultimately going to be a catalyst for going forward as far as for how cryptocurrencies are viewed and the relationship that they have as far as for exchanging goods for them. Welcome back, YouTube. I want to make this video to address some of the concerns the community is having with the catalyst for Shiba doing like a big burn, and will it pretty much be more profitable as far as for a Dogecoin. And I wanted to just make this video to do a overall comparison and to break down like what the coins are as of right now and your strategy for playing them, and also what you believe will happen in the future. So I want to start with the fact that if you have a catalyst or if you believe in certain coins or stocks, you don't have to pick one. And I just want to start with saying that, because if you're in the stock market, no one's going to say, hey, just buy Apple or just buy Amazon and nothing else. Typically, they'll tell you to spread out your investments. And of course, that'll limit like your risk. And you can also pick some companies that you believe in, unless you're like day trading and then you don't really care about the companies, just care about like the short-term gains. But ultimately, normally the safe thing to do is to diversify your assets. However, I know that a lot of the drawback as far as for the Dogecoin community and the Shiba community is pretty much how Shiba got started, and they listed themselves as like the Dogecoin killer and pretty much launched their marketing campaign on the back of Dogecoin. So I get why there's that friction there. But ultimately, you're going to have to look at the different coins, because Shiba is not going to be the last coin. There's going to be other coins that come after Shiba. There's going to be innovation in the crypto market. The crypto market in general is here to stay, and it's going to be a long-term play. So you're definitely going to have to think around emotions and the short term. But if you're in it for the short term, there are gains to be made on both sides here. With Shiba right now, they have the press on their side, and there's a lot of money flowing in. Now, theoretically, if they did a significant burn, the price of the remaining coins will ultimately go up, because there's more dollars chasing fewer coins. However, if you're saying, okay, is it going to compare as far as to like a Dogecoin or one of the other cryptocurrencies, they're going to have to burn a huge amount, like probably over 90% of the, well, not even probably, over 90% of the coins that are available now. And then also what comes into mind is, okay, what are the utility causes, and what are they going to do as far as for, is this going to be like a scarcity value thing as far as for similar to Bitcoin, or are they going to aim to go the currency route similar to Dogecoin? These are questions that you have to ask. There's a lot of information going around as far as for the catalyst to push the coin forward. And ultimately, that's what you're going to have to see. I mean, it's the same thing what you do with any other coin. You're going to have to take an assessment and decide whether or not you want to believe in the project, if you want to invest money, or you decide if it's not going to go anywhere and you decide to pass it up. It's the same situation as far as for evaluating. You don't have to necessarily say, oh, because of this, or I don't like this, or I'm upset about something that happened in the past, I don't necessarily like this coin. Because ultimately now, as long as the media and the press are pumping the coin, until there's like a utility case, or unless there's like a bunch of baby Shibas or whatever the case, or the knockoffs, and they start extracting money away from the coin, there's going to be potential to have gains there. But make no mistake, all coins have a correction period and a consolidation period, and they have a period of what you would call stagnation, especially by today's term. Everybody wants to be a millionaire within 2 weeks. So Shiba will cool off, Shiba will correct. And what happens next is ultimately going to determine Shiba's future. Dogecoin, on the other hand, is designed to be a currency. And that's one of the catalysts that we were pushing for earlier this year, is to make it the internet cryptocurrency. So the inflation rate is going to be necessary to have a functioning currency. And we've already determined that eventually the inflation rate of Doge will be lower than that of the dollar. And that's within like the next coming decade or so. This is as crucial if you're going to exchange Doge for goods. And this also keeps the fact that you're not going to get screwed on the back end like someone trading Bitcoin for goods because of the scarcity value. The purpose of each of these coins is going to have to be decided as far as for their approach to not only just getting value in the short term, but maintaining it in the long term. Because when you have a lot of coins initially, obviously it makes the coins really cheap, but ultimately it decides that in the short term, it makes it difficult for anyone to maintain profits while you're building up a utility case. And I think that's the case what's going on with Shiba. So they're trying to burn and get rid of most of the coins here so that the people that are invested can actually have a utility case and potentially see those gains. Otherwise, it'll always be treading water with the initial currency release. And I tell people on my channel all the time, I'm not here to steer you in one direction or the other. I just like reporting information so that you can make a decision. Ultimately, the market doesn't care about my feelings for Shiba, Dogecoin, Apple, or any of the other companies that I like. The market is going to evolve and it's going to grow. And I think that when you have these variables and these situations that break through and cause change, they also on the back end cause innovation. So I would love to see how the market evolves. I do believe that crypto is in the infancy stages, so that we're going to see a lot of evolution coming out of this. And I believe that what we have on the other side of this, as far as we're getting regulation, when it comes down to name branding and copywriting, I believe that there's going to be a lot of good coming out of the I'd say the hassles that we have here in the short term. But theoretically, if Shiba burned enough coins, then theoretically it could have a significant jump in value. Now, the stabilization of that coin and the utility cases, that's ultimately going to be up to the community, no different than Dogecoin. Even if Dogecoin got rid of some of its coins and there was a significant burn, it would cause an increase in the value of the remaining tokens. That's basic supply and demand. And the truth is, the real value behind either of these coins is because this doesn't have scarcity value. The real value in these coins is going to be based on the community and the efforts that they use to push to get utility. Because again, cryptocurrency is in its infancy stages. So these connections that you make, the partnerships that we establish, like Dogecoin with AMC, that's ultimately going to be a catalyst for going forward as far as for how cryptocurrencies are viewed and the relationship that they have as far as for exchanging goods for them. This is the innovation that I was speaking about, because there'll never be a day where someone's going to go to Walmart and shop with Bitcoin. It wouldn't financially make sense, especially not right now. Maybe one day in the future if we're all shopping with like Satoshis or something like that. But as of right now, it wouldn't financially make sense. Something like a Dogecoin certainly would make a lot more sense because it doesn't fluctuate as much as a Bitcoin do to the abundance and not necessarily being attached to it like the scarcity value. The value is all in the community, and you're going to have to decide if you're long-term or short-term. And that's going to be the catalyst here, because these coins are going to evolve. As far as what the next steps, we have some next steps as far as for Dogecoin laid out. Shiba is building, and they're putting a catalyst around it to try and deal with some of the issues that they have now. Whether or not you decide to believe in that or believe that they can hit significant percentage of increase as far as the profits in the future, that's up to you to decide that as far as for your research. But long-term or short-term, that's going to be the catalyst as far as for how you play your coins. I decided a long time ago that I was long-term with Doge because I'm curious as far as to see how the market evolves and how the catalyst will push it forward. I posted my entries for Dogecoin. I started buying, I believe, January 28th. Like my first Dogecoins were purchased for around 2 cents. The Shiba I purchased was around like a month ago, and I'm not even sure what price point I got. I know obviously because of the price I got like a lot of them, but I'm not sure as far as like what the price entries. And again, you're going to have to decide if you're long-term or short-term. I made a video a while back called The Consolidation of Cryptocurrencies, and it pretty much broke down as far as for how I believe that there can be multiple cryptocurrencies all serving different purposes. As far as, or they can work pretty much in the same market, but they're going to have like different functions and different perks. And I compared it to similar to credit cards, like an American Express, Visa, Discover, MasterCard. They all pretty much do the same things, but they have different perks and different partnerships, where if you go to this bank, you're going to get this kind of card. If you shop here, they prefer this kind of card because of the transaction fees. So I believe there can be multiple currencies that coexist, but you're just going to have to decide as far as for which ones you believe in, and make sure you're doing your research as far as like on the companies to make them the catalyst as far as for your investments. And to touch on whether or not specifically will a Shiba burn make is Shiba more valuable than Dogecoin? Everything has cycles. All the markets do. Nothing goes up continuously. There are going to be times where you can be in this product and you'll be ahead of the market. And there'll be times if you stay in that same product, it'll be their wealth or their flow of momentum or money will change over here. Nothing goes vertical completely all the time. Like not the dollar, not any of the Fortune 500 companies, not these companies that are 100 years old, definitely not the crypto market. So Dogecoin, Shiba, the knockoffs, baby, whatever, they're never going to be consistently going up. So you just have to kind of brace yourself for consolidation periods and understand that you can look at the short term and be like, oh my God, look at the gains. This is certainly outperforming this here. But make sure you look at the long terms too and the reasons why, because that makes a difference, and try and compare that and see, okay, well, can this be duplicated in the future? Because a lot of you are going to get caught up in the baby this and the big uncle that, and that's going to be the catalyst. And the only catalyst that got it pushing forward was the fact that a bunch of people rush in and get on the ground floor, but their only catalyst, their entire marketing campaign is based off of another coin. They have no means to navigate in the future. There's not going to be any utility, because why would a company do business with a derivative of another company? It doesn't make sense. I mentioned this in my last video. You don't choose cola over Coca-Cola. Like you don't choose if you have the pick, you're not going to do business. You have a lesser option, but you're not going to pick the equate version of anything. So when you're doing business, you pick the original. That's just what makes sense. It makes sense as far as when you're doing your investigations, because you don't have to question the integrity of the company, the vision of the company, whether or not they actually have a plan to be long-term and they're just going to do a rug pull once there's enough people in there. It eliminates a lot of those questions when you align with the people who initially had the vision. Again, please do your own due diligence. Don't let the media or YouTubers or anyone try and steer you in another direction with these invest now 5,000% and all this kind of stuff like that. Do your own due diligence, do your research, and so that you're not getting screwed and having these people try and pump these coins up. I appreciate all of you, and before I close this video out, I definitely want you to check out this video sponsor, which is going to be Skillshare. I'm going to play a clip from them, and you'll get a free month if you use the link in my description section. I'm actually starting with Productivity for Creators by Thomas Frank, because it's more so about me starting to build and get more organized through my productivity, because of the growth that I'm seeing here on YouTube and like my actual investments that I have outside of YouTube. So it's just more so laying the groundwork so that I'm not being pulled in so many directions, and as I try to expand my investments, because typically that's what takes up most of my time. And I know a lot of you guys get on me about not uploading every day, so that I'm working to increase my productivity so that I can be more present on YouTube and balance my outside investments. The best thing about Skillshare is it's curated specifically for learning. There's no ads, so you're not going to see a break or in any of the classes that you take that are specific to your interests. So it's pretty much just going to be go from start to finish. Now, I wanted to provide exceptional value for you all. So the first 1,000 people that click the link in my bio, you actually get a free month of Skillshare to try out. And again, they have classes on just about everything. I know most of the people that watch my channel are geared toward finances, so you can certainly take classes on stock investing, finances, entrepreneurship, web development. Really, this pretty much, if you have an interest, it's almost guaranteed to be on Skillshare, and you can have access to that for 1 month just to try it out by using the link that I have in my bio. I hope you found value in this video. Please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, and until next time.